Hi everyone, and welcome back to Emma's Science Facts. Alright, so today I wanted to do a little bit of a special episode about Tiger King. So many of you might have heard of Tiger King. It's a super popular show on Netflix right now. It's basically about a lot of different groups of people throughout the US who have tigers as pets. They call them exotic pets, basically all the tigers, chimpanzees, lions, like all those types of wild animals that people are keeping as pets. It's actually a really crazy one. Fun fact that they started the show with was there are more tigers in captivity, like as pets, in the United States than there are in the wild in the entire world. So that's pretty insane to think about. People are breeding tigers like crazy and letting people pet them and keeping them in zoos and in their homes and all sorts of things. One thing that I wanted to cover is the dangers of having a pet like that. So some people might say, like having a big dog, like a Rottweiler, a Husky, some of those big dogs, like dogs came from wolves. We keep them in our house. They're our pets. Like, why aren't they dangerous? Why can't we have tigers? Like, if you had a baby tiger and you've been bonding with it since it was born, it lives in your house, it eats food that you give it, you pet it all the time. Why is that way more dangerous than having like a really strong dog, like sleeping in your bed all the time? So bottom line is that there's a big difference between how an animal behaves and how it's trained versus what's just in its DNA. And dogs that we have in our houses, even if they're really large and really strong and have big teeth, they're very far removed from wolves. And it's not just because we have dogs as puppies and they're in our house and we like pet them and give them food and, teach them tricks. It's not just because of what we do and the behavior that we teach dogs. It's also because of their DNA. So over many, many generations of wolves, originally, humans were able to select out individual wolves that were way more calm, not aggressive, more affectionate, so that eventually, over many, many years and many generations, the actual genetic code of these wolves was starting to change. So these wolves were acting differently just because of what was in their actual DNA, not because of anything that we had to teach them as they were growing up. So that's really different from having a tiger cub. Even if a tiger cub seems really calm and sweet, you can't change a tiger's like DNA or their genetic code in one lifetime. So even if you've had this one pet ever since it was a baby, and even if you've taught it like, I'm gonna feed you treats and stuff like that, that can change some of its behavior, but you haven't actually changed its genetic code. And that means that it is genetically, like our DNA, the same as just a wild animal. Basically, having a wild animal as a pet is super dangerous because at some point or another, unless you're really lucky, that animal is probably going to act on its instincts as if it's in the wild instead of the way that you think that you might have trained it. And obviously, when you're dealing with an animal that's as big and strong as a tiger, that can be deadly. So the bottom line is, I would say, let the wild animals be in the wild or be in zoos, but wild animals can't just be your pet just because you brought them into your home. That doesn't make it a pet. Dogs became our pets because of many, many generations of very carefully choosing the wolves that were the most calm, and breeding them with other wolves that were calm and affectionate. And that took a really long time. And that just can't be done with one individual wild animal that you just think is cute and you want to have in your house. So yeah, that's my science fact for this week. I hope that everyone learned a little bit. If you have questions, just comment below. I hope that everyone learned something. It is a crazy show. If you're interested in watching it, I would recommend, but it's quite a roller coaster. Most of it is talking about the humans, not the animals. So if you want an animal show, I'd go to like Animal Planet or something. So I hope everyone has a great week and enjoyed the science fact. Bye, everyone.